What up, gang? Carolina Jackpot checking in. It is Wednesday evening, about 8 p.m. It's been a long day on the way home, and just wanted to take care of a few little housekeeping items real quick. First off, if you'll remember, over the summer, Carolina Jackpot was a guest on the Rob and Comrade Show, a podcast which is actually recorded on Facebook Live on Wednesdays and Sunday evenings at 10:30 p.m. Carolina Jackpot will be joining that podcast tonight for the duration of it. We're going to be doing a three-way thing. If you've ever watched it before, the host, Rob Sanders, and the co-host, the comrade, Mike Dobreski, are doing that on Facebook Live. Well, Rob Sanders has found an app where he can get up to 6 people on there. So, Carolina Jackpot's going to be in there tonight and in the future. So, hey, good stuff there. Make sure if you've got Facebook, go look for the Rob and Comrade Show. Like the page and just click your little thingy doodle there to get notifications for it, and you'll be able to join in tonight. And if you're in on the live chat, make sure you let us know who you are and that Carolina Jackpot sent you over. All right, things I want to talk about real quick. First off, I wanted to give a prediction on the ACC Championship game this Saturday evening in Charlotte. You got the Clemson Tigers at 12-0, to no surprise there. Taking on the 9-3 Virginia Cavaliers. This was my call to be in the ACC Championship game from the Coastal Division over the summer. I think some of the past few years we've actually kind of had a surprise team win the ACC Coastal just about every year. Like last year, I don't think anybody expected Pittsburgh to be in there, but they were. But this was my pick the whole time. And they had a little bit of a rough stretch. Lost to Louisville, which is a game that I feel like that they shouldn't have lost. That was a game they didn't have any business losing, in my opinion there. They also lost on the road to Miami. I don't know how they managed to do that. That was absolutely terrible. And, of course, lost to Notre Dame in a game that they played well on the road, played tough anyway. Not necessarily played well, but they just came up short. So they're taking on 12-0 Tigers, and this is a different type of team that Clemson's facing. Albeit it is an ACC team, but it's a team that they haven't faced in years, and it's been, I think, since 2013, since these two hooked up on the gridiron. I think Clemson beat Virginia something like 56-10 in that game. I mean, they were absolutely terrible back then. Have improved steadily under Bronco Mendenhall the past couple of years. And, I would have had no problem telling you that I thought UVA was going to cover the spread in this game 6 weeks ago when their cornerback, Bryce Hall, All-American type player, was healthy. Bryce Hall, he made it about half the season, got injured, and out for the rest of the season. So, that being said, I think that Lawrence may be able to pick on the Virginia secondary just a little bit. I mean, let's just face it. The Taters' receiving core is just nasty. I mean, they just are. They're filthy. They create a lot of mismatches for a lot of people. Not exactly sure who's back there in the UVA defensive backfield right now that can really match up with these guys. But for some reason, I just feel like that this team is going to be more prepared to play than what the normal opponent that Clemson faces is. I mean, this is the first time they've been to the ACC Championship game since, ever. I don't think Virginia's ever been in the ACC Championship game. And their coach, Bronco Mendenhall, made the statement that we're not just going there to see what it looks like. They're going to be ready to play. The Bryce Perkins is the type of player that Clemson hasn't faced anybody like that all year. I was looking at some stats on last Friday, he accounted for like 465 of Virginia's 492 yards against Virginia Tech. And I think the rest of that was probably courtesy of their running back, Wayne Tallulah Papalapa. Maybe he's kin to Tua Tagovailoa. I don't know. But he's a mediocre running back. And that's the thing. They're really kind of mediocre at all the positions, skill positions anyway, on offense. They have one wide receiver, Dubois, showed out last year against the Gamecocks in the Belt Bowl. That's pretty decent. But, I mean, largely this is all Perkins. And I just think that for some reason, I think that Clemson's going to be a little bit too focused, maybe, on the playoffs. A little bit too focused on winning the thing. I still think they win the game, and I don't think at the end that it's going to be that close. But I really think, and I mean, this is not me being a homer here or a hater. This is just me giving you my honest opinion. I think Virginia's going to cover the spread in this one, and I think they're going to give you a scare. This is the first time they've ever been there. I don't think the stage is too big for them. We know they can win in Bank of America Stadium. Oh, yeah, I know they can. I think they're going to throw everything but the kitchen sink at you. And with a quarterback like Perkins back there, that is very, very dangerous position to be in. Give me Virginia in that game to cover that spread. I think it's like 28.5 right now. And, I mean, I get it. Clemson's good. I understand that, you know. But they've been blowing people out. But I just think that Virginia is going to cover the number in this thing. I just for some reason, I think they're going to come out and just play really well. And they're just going to come up short. Just maybe a heartbreaker. Maybe, you know, a 35-24 type loss. Maybe Clemson scores a touchdown late to make it look, you know, a little bit more of a blowout than what it was. But I really think that, I mean, you haven't been tested in weeks, and you're finally going to be facing a guy who checks most of the boxes as far as an elite level quarterback. At least dual threat type anyway. Give me Virginia in this game. I think they're going to cover, and I think they're going to give you a scare. Now, switching gears, talking South Carolina Gamecocks a little bit. We talked about this other night. I did a live stream, and when I uploaded it, I did something really goofy. I don't know if you watched it, but the thumbnail on it was like my dog laying on the deck. That's not my normal thumbnail. So I don't really know what happened with that. I was a little bit sick that night, and I wasn't really feeling good. But I was feeling good, you know, when we did the live stream. But you got uploaded properly. But it was a lot of fun. But we talked about Will Muschamp, and I talked about this. A thing is, there's nothing I can do. There's nothing I can do anymore. Or nothing I can say anymore to change the way things are. He's going to be the football coach in 2020 at South Carolina. Do I think it's a mistake? Hell yeah, I think it's a mistake. I think it's ridiculous. I think it's dumb. It's stupid. It's a refusal to commit to excellence. And you're more worried about playing, you know, economics than you are about having a winning championship level football team. A football team that competes. A football team that the fan base can be proud of. And that's just the bottom line. That's bottom line. And nothing you can say will change my mind. Nothing that's ever going to change until you guys just go out there, step out of your damn comfort zone a little bit. You know, step away from the damn, you know, the status quo and you know, what you've been doing for years, settling for mediocrity, and just go for it. But, I mean, that's just me. He's an idiot. He will not be around in 2021. I feel very certain that he's not. Now we've demoted Brian McClendon, right, the offensive coordinator. You know, Brian's a good coach, good position coach. I think he may have been in a little bit over his head as an offensive coordinator. However, I mean, he called some good games last year. I mean, he really did. But he also had a few more playmakers last year than he does this year. So, you demote him. You get rid of the strength and conditioning coach, Jeff Dillman. Thank God. Thank God that somebody finally wised up and decided to get rid of that idiot. How many injuries would it take? They should have gotten rid of him after last year. After all those injuries that we incurred on the defense last year, but nobody pressed Muschamp to do it, and he was friends with him. So, he returns for another season. I'm glad to see him go. I'm sure that he's a good coach in his own right, but it wasn't working out here. And the quarterback coach, what's his name, Dan Werner, also no longer on the staff. I think that should go without saying. You had a really good high-level prospect there. Really didn't do a lot with him. I understand he was hurt a little bit, but numbers didn't look good, especially the last few games of the season. So, no commitment to excellence. We're hiring a new offensive coordinator probably this week. Mike Bobo they let Mike Bobo step down as head coach at the University of Colorado State University today, a few hours ago. And whatever. That's going to be the new offensive coordinator. I can just tell you right now. He's a Georgia guy. Him and Muschamp are probably buddies. What do I think about that? I don't know. I don't know what I think about that. Mike Bobo is a name that really hasn't even been on my radar. For a few years to even really think about a whole lot. He left Georgia and went all the way out to Colorado State, which is that's kind of weird, isn't it? All the time these Georgia coordinators get promoted, they end up in Colorado. Mel Tucker ends up in Colorado too. Who had an okay season there, but started out better than it ended. But I don't know if has this guy been removed from the game in this part of the area of the world for 5 years now. Is he going to be able to come up with defense or offensive schemes to combat championship level defenses that he's going to be facing as an offensive coordinator at South Carolina? Your Clemson's, your Georgia's, some of these other teams in the SEC will pop up every now and then and have a really high level defense. Those are two that are pretty much always in the top 10 nationally as far as defense goes. So I don't know. He's a quarterback guy. He's a big-time quarterback guy. We know that. But, he molded quarterbacks like Matthew Stafford and Aaron Murray. We've got a quarterback coming in that is an absolute animal in high school who's a dual-threat guy. So, how's that going to play out? I don't really know that Bobo's done a whole lot with dual-threat kids, but, I don't know. It may work out, but that's not. Who do I want? I really don't know. I honestly don't spend a whole heck of a lot of time looking at offensive coordinators. I know that because I was concerned about that is I want a new head coach. I've heard Rhett Lashley, the guy who's offensive coordinator at SMU, used to be OC at Auburn, was OC at Arkansas State with Gus Malzahn. May have been one that was interested in the job. I don't know. You got to think. Whoever's coming there has got to know that, your certainty in this position is very uncertain. The fact that you might only be at South Carolina a year. Because Will Muschamp is on very thin ice. Ice that I thought should have been broken a couple of weeks ago, but it wasn't. So, who's going to come and coach for one season? So, Mike Bobo might be it. His buddy brings his buddy in from UGA to be offensive coordinator, and, they get fired together next year. So, that could definitely be something I could see happening. Lashley is somebody that I think may want a head coaching job somewhere down in the future. Maybe he takes the job and thinks, maybe I go out here, I roll the dice. I'm OC for this idiot for a year, and maybe they roll the dice on me when it comes time to hire a head coach. Who knows? I also heard Steve Adazio from Boston College, who was let go. I don't understand that, really. I really don't understand why they let him go. Adazio was, were his numbers flashy? No. He was winning 6-7 ball games a year. One thing I did notice there at Boston College, it seemed like they had an awful lot of injuries. But you got to think, it's hard to get kids to come up there to play. Their recruiting classes were down near the bottom of the ACC every year, and who wants to go play in Chestnut Hill, Massachusetts, where it's 35 degrees in mid-October? They just don't. Not a lot of kids want to play there. It's also a kind of a difficult school to academically also, I believe. So, he had that working against him. But, he still produced some decent football teams. I can't think that anybody that they get there is really going to be an upgrade. Do you see anybody, them hiring somebody who's going to take Boston College to ACC championship games? Somebody's going to coach up Boston College in a couple of years. They're going to be unseating Clemson as the ACC Atlantic Division champions. I don't think so. So I don't know. And that's what you talk about. At South Carolina, you say, well, who are you going to get that's going to be any better than Muschamp? A lot of people. And at Boston College, I'm not so sure that they're going to get anybody that's any better than Steve Adazio was. He was a good offensive coordinator. He was an offensive coordinator on a team that won a national championship at the University of Florida and assistant head coach under Urban Meyer. So, if he came to Columbia to be an offensive coordinator, I wouldn't be hating it. His area of expertise is offensive line, and that's something that the line of scrimmage is somewhere that South Carolina has really been inconsistent for a while. And, skill positions take care of themselves. You recruit well, you'll have some good skill position players, and your position coaches should be taking care of that. But you have an offensive coordinator who is a offensive line guy, and that's, to me, that's not half bad. Because that is the most important position on the football field. If you want to, if the most position group, it is the offensive line. It's where it all starts. But that's just me talking. And rambling on. We'll talk about that tonight on the Robin Comrade Show. I'm sure we'll also throw out our picks for the conference championship games this weekend. Some kind of decent matchups out there. You got Georgia, LSU, your Utah, Oregon, Ohio State, Wisconsin. So, it should be an exciting weekend of football. Unfortunately, my Gamecocks are not involved in that, but that's not really a big deal because they haven't been involved in conference championship games except for once, and that's been a long time ago, almost 10 years. All right, so that's that. Peace. I'm going to get out of here. Make sure you join in on that tonight. Or not join in on it, just watch on Facebook, Robin Comrade Show, if you feel so inclined. If not, wherever you listen to podcasts, if you're a podcast person, you can download it on iTunes. Just go on there and search for the Robin Comrade Show. It should be available tomorrow morning, and you'll be able to listen to all of our witty repartee from this evening. I'll see y'all later. Appreciate it. Peace. And I'm out. Go Gamecocks. Spurs up till the toes are up, baby.